Let's get started. Calling to order the December meeting of the Capital Program Committee, the MTA Board. Do we have public speakers? Who's moderating?
Mr. Chair, we have 8 members of the public registered to speak.
Okay, let her rip.
Our first speaker is Christopher Greif, followed by Mr. X.
Good afternoon. I'm Christopher D. Greif. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Yes, Jana, I will be quick as a whistle. First, I want to thank Jana, and I do want to thank your team and the Capitol because since this year, a lot of us love to see a lot of new accessibility and getting things done. The other thing I want to be very quickly is a lot of the groups in the Bronx are supporting the Penn Access because we want the Metro North, and they asked me to say this quickly as a whistle. So we want to make it clear that we are supporting it. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah.
Thank you, Mr. Greif.
Our next speaker is Mr. X, followed by Joseph Morales.
The Metro North Railroad Hudson Line should run to Albany at all points above continuously. Having one train only is outrageous. As I told you before, Jano, you need to extend that line, also in the Haven line, to all the points above and put Scamtrack out of business once and for all. You want to continue working with Scamtrack, that's fine with me, but I recommend you put it out of business. Put it out of business. Let those two Metro Rail lines, run to all points above. Because first of all, no one can only a few people can afford to ride Scamtrack. I know I can. Maybe you can afford to ride it, but I can't. Not according to my budget, and my budget is different from yours, way different from yours. So bear that in mind. Scamtrack, remove Scamtrack from the bargaining table. As I said earlier, Jano, it would be nice if you could bring the 7 train, if you and Demetrius could bring the 7 train to Marcy Station. It could run on the BQE and Marcy Avenue, also Metropolitan Avenue, below 70th Street. So from 74th Station, you can make a left turn off Roosevelt Avenue between 73rd and 72nd Streets, then go down to BQE. Some BQE lanes should be elevated and connected to Roosevelt Avenue between those 2 cross streets. A 2-way traffic should apply. The line itself should be elevated, of course. It would be nice. You need to build a station above Marcy Station.
Thank you.
With
Please
some of the J&M
conclude your
trains.
remarks.
That would be nice. Because you'll do all of us a big favor. Because the B62 bus can be a living hell at times.
Thank you. The next speaker is Joseph Morales, followed by Kara Girl.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Morales. I'm a sophomore civil engineering student at Manhattan University in the Bronx. I'm also a Bronx resident. With contracts for elevator maintenance at several stations, including the 42nd Street Bryant Park Station, set to last for 15 years, we should make sure that these and other contracts have strict penalties in place for low elevator reliability, along with faulty or delayed maintenance work. This is because, while improving, third-party elevator availability has consistently been behind NYCT elevator availability as a whole. Also, measures should be explored to ensure that small contracts for emergency work, like the one for sewer line repair at the Gun Hill Bus Depot, do not need to wait for a committee and board meeting to be approved. This ensures better infrastructure reliability and safety for both MTA employees and riders. And I heard next door in the transit committee meeting, there was a particular contract, I forget exactly which one, but an MTA staff member had to clarify to the board that it was able to be ratified, it was able to happen earlier and be ratified later because of the emergency nature. So to have that process clarified and possibly expanded throughout the system, I think would be of great use for everyone. Also, lastly, for the FDR Drive widening project, we should look for the overpass for pedestrians and cyclists to be wider and ensure that it could accommodate e-bikes and scooters traveling at reasonable speeds. An example is a path proposed by the New York State Department of Transportation for the now dismissed option 1C for traffic mitigation for the Cross Bronx Expressway Bridges project. This serves to better reflect modern micromobility needs that older paths do not address. It is also important considering the fact that e-bike restrictions are often ignored on bike and pedestrian paths across the city. And those policies, I think we've seen the Adams administration's tried, but it's really hard to enforce. So if we can have this to ensure that everyone's
you.
safe, the better.
Our next speaker is Kara Girl, followed by Peter Fichetti online.
Good afternoon. I'm Kara Girl, Planning and Advocacy Manager at the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee to the MTA PCAC. Early next month marks 1 full year of congestion relief. A year in, the numbers don't lie. Traffic is down, air quality has improved, and transit is getting the much-needed investment that it needs. We're thrilled that projects funded by congestion pricing are getting shovels in the ground so that riders and drivers can see tangible benefits, and continue to encourage you to flaunt this with signs up in stations that clearly show which upgrades are on the way due to congestion relief. It's also very exciting to transit advocates, data nerds, and riders alike that the new capital program dashboard breaks down projects in more detail and in a much more user-friendly way. And you can even filter to see which upgrades are made possible with congestion pricing. We're also gearing up to say goodbye to the MetroCard and embrace Omni. We were glad when C&D stepped in to help oversee the Omni rollout a few years ago and treat it like the mega project it is. It's no secret that there have been some bumps in the road, but we were encouraged by efforts over the past few months to overhaul the Omni system and ensure that no rider experiences unnecessary issues or confusion. We're optimistic about the ways that Omni can be used to make transit more seamless and affordable for riders, starting with expanding the level of information that riders are shown after topping, and eventually with discounts and transferability between other local transportation options. Of course, goal 1 should be to work out any glitches or tech mishaps, but building trust and over-communicating to riders is key to making sure that everyone feels comfortable topping with Omni. There's immense potential with Tap and Ride, and it's important that all users understand why and how to use it. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Peter Fichetti online, followed by Jesse Figueroa. Our speaker now is Jesse Figueroa, followed by Alita Dupree.
Can y'all hear me well? All right, good afternoon, everybody. As District 1 Commander of the VFW Department of New York, I respectfully submit this comment regarding the ongoing capital program. I urge the committee to continue prioritizing accessibility and equity in all transit projects. Elevators, ramps, clear signage, and modernized stations are not optional features. They are essential components that safeguard dignity and independence for seniors, veterans, and individuals with disabilities. Public transportation is more than infrastructure. It is the lifeline that connects families, supports workers, and strengthens communities. By investing wisely and transparently, the MTA can deliver progress that reflects the values of accountability, accessibility, and unity. As we enter the holiday season, I extend gratitude on behalf of the veterans community for your service to the public. I wish each of you and your families peace, health, and joy during this season of reflection and renewal. May the new year bring continued progress towards a transit system that serves all New Yorkers with families and dignities. This is Jesse Figueroa, Transit Emperor, wishing you happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, and happy Kwanzaa.
Our next speaker is Alita Dupree, followed by Charlton D'Souza.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Jano Lieber and members. Alita Dupree for the record sheet, Harwood, Team Falls. Yeah, it is still morning where I'm sitting right now. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah. I made my potato pancake this morning for breakfast, so I'm enjoying the season. You can never have enough Grand Central Terminal. This background is really the face of capital. And I like big signature projects. We open Grand Central Madison, continue to advocate for Penn access, continue to work on our locomotive rollout. Let's make sure that all of the operators are using the electricity in the third rail territory. We want to reduce our diesel usage as much as we can. And Omni is capital too. And I'm looking forward to the deeper levels of Omni. And I wrote you all a letter back during the fair policy hearing season. And looking forward to doing Tap to Ride. I think it's going to work. It happens in a number of other places in the world, like London and Stockholm, off my game today. We can do this. Nobody's going to get left behind. I'm the most likely to get left behind, and nobody's leaving me behind. I'm not worried. We have to remember the things that we can't see. It's not just about my Grand Central Terminal background, but fixing that train shed and doing our work on the power infrastructures and continuing to upgrade stations to ADA standards, not just the elevators. Want to finish those platform strips.
Please
Make sure we
conclude
get
your
those
remarks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Our final speaker is Charlton D'Souza.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlton D'Souza, President of Passengers United. So here are the suggestions for you guys with Omni. Number one, we need an Omni vending machine or two Omni vending machines at the Jamaica 168th Street bus terminal. There should be two Omni machines there. Two Omni machines at the Hempstead Transit Center, which Nassau County doesn't want to buy because it's too expensive. I heard the amount is $750,000, which I find hard to believe. So can the MTA just give Nice Bus two vending machines so their customers can have that? And also, you know, y'all have it at the Williamsburg Transit Center, so I don't understand why it can't be in other parts like Westchester, Beeline, like at White Plains. There should be an Omni machine there. You guys got to do better with this outreach. And also pre-valued Omni cards can be sold at LIR ticket windows in Nassau County, Suffolk, and Metro North, in Westchester and parts of Connecticut. I don't know why y'all are not doing that. There's an idea there. And for, you know, starting in January, we're concerned about the Queens bus redesign, promotional bus transfers. So I feel that you guys should not have the $2 fee. Y'all should just waive that fee till about March or April, so more people can switch over free. Because like David Banks said at the other meeting, David Jones said, a lot of unbanked people are gonna have issues come January 1st. And so we want to accommodate
Please
them.
conclude
We
your
also want to
remarks.
accommodate our seniors and help them as well. That would be great for the seniors and also for people with disabilities.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair, that concludes the public comment session.
Thank you to our public speakers. The copies of the November committee minutes have been distributed or available on the website. Are there any changes or comments on the minutes? None. Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
So
Thank
moved.
you. Ms. Mahaltzis, Mr. Jones for the second. All the minutes are approved. I'll just note that Mr. Torres Springer is not here because he is traveling with the FRA administrator, who's going up and down the Northeast Corridor looking at projects, including Penn Access. So it was important that Jamie be with him. They are the funder of the federal grant for Penn Access, and folks in this room know what's been going on that. So hence, we are blessed to have Mr. Iceland sitting in. Are there any changes to the work plan?
No, there are not.
Could you take it away for the temporary president's report?
And I have to ask, as it's my virgin voyage, is there a button here, or are you going to take care of that for me over there?
Yeah. You're on.
Okay. I don't see my presentation up there.
There you go.
There we go. So this is the hole at the 81st Street Museum of Natural History that's stationed there. And as you may have read in New York Magazine's coverage this morning, the team dug 40 feet down, including 32 feet of jackhammering through notoriously hard Manhattan schist for the installation of an elevator at this station. Though it usually looks like this during construction.
To advance the slides, right?
Thank you. So, though it usually looks like this during construction, crews covered this hole just before Thanksgiving to enable balloon inflation for the Thanksgiving Day parade. And by Monday, the hole was reopened and the team got back to work. Just another example of never a dull moment in New York City construction.
When do we expect that to be done?
I don't have the date on that. I'll come back to you with that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, so since our last meeting, we celebrated accessibility improvements at the Church Avenue station on the BQ line in Brooklyn, the sixth station to be made accessible this year. In addition to 2 new elevators, the project created a brand-new entrance in the mid-block of 18th Street, added a new fare array and a new transfer walkway. This is yet another example of just how much work goes into making a station accessible. Staying in Brooklyn, we also celebrated the opening of a new railcar acceptance and testing facility in Sunset Park, completed on time and $5.5 million under budget. The new facility serves as the first stop for all new subway cars and will help bring new cars into service more quickly. This is especially important as we ramp up rolling stock purchases in the 20 to 25 to 29 capital plan. This month, we also took a huge step forward on data transparency with the launch of a modernized capital program dashboard. The new tool provides a clearer picture of the budget and schedule of capital projects and allows users to search for capital projects by location, capital plan, and even transit line. Launching in a beta mode, the new tool previews some active construction projects and upcoming 25 to 29 planned projects, with even more coming in 2026. Today, we are presenting $2 billion worth of procurements to the committee for your approval, including some signature projects made possible by the implementation of congestion pricing. First are 2 accessibility projects across 5 stations, 2 in Queens, 1 in Brooklyn, and the 2-station complex at Bryant Park, totaling $272.6 million between the 2 packages. In addition to adding elevators, improving station conditions, these projects will continue the practice of including maintenance contracts with the elevator installer for 15 years of elevator maintenance. And I will note, and just pointing out, one of the speakers spoke to, these elevator maintenance contracts do include accessibility for availability. The payments are take into account availability and accessibility of those
And they're
elevators.
counted as part of New York City Transit's elevators, even though they're maintained by a third party. They're not, I think the speaker, just to clarify, the speaker got it wrong. They're not part of the so-called private sector elevators. Those are the ones that the city has arranged for under the zoning code that we really don't have any control over. Okay, different.
So Jenna, just,
Yeah.
so like Bryan Park is done by the bid?
No. What's happening is that we're making the management of the elevators, make sure, and the maintenance of the elevators, a requirement for the contracting team that puts in them in the first place, to make sure that they do a good job. So they have a commitment to maintain them to a certain level of availability. That is to say, they're not broken down more frequently than a very, very, very rare instance. And if they don't comply with that, they don't maintain them to that standard, they lose money. That's the
Oh, I
point.
see.
That's the
Okay.
point. That's the way
Okay.
we do elevators now.
Okay.
In this system. I just wanted to clear it up because there was some garbling from the podium, although we all know Mr. Morales is always on the money.
Right,
Go ahead.
okay.
All right, next slide, please, if you.
All right, sorry. I'll do it.
Here we go. So we're also requesting approval for the award of a contract for signal improvements on the Fulton and Liberty lines, that's the A and C lines in Brooklyn and Queens. This project will install CBTC along these lines, repair and replace switches, run cabling to support the deployment of cellular service through the tunnels. This line was the subject of the great New York Times deep dive into the signal system that ran earlier this year. And this project represents the success of our new streamlined approach to signal modernization, what we call CBTC-centric. On a cost per mile basis, our preliminary analysis shows that Fulton and Liberty will be 33% cheaper than on our CBTC-centric projects. This is also a result of our success in increasing competition in the market because of the highly complex and specialized nature of this work. It's taken deliberate efforts to bring in additional firms, and we're very pleased to have had 3 bidders on this procurement, which helped keep prices down.
Okay, so I'm going to ask board members to not chat during, this is super important. It's taken a long time. I'm going to underscore this. There are 4 companies now that bid on signal work. That wasn't the case when we started doing the signal work a couple years ago, when C&D was formed. We were down to 2 companies, and we were struggling to have them figure out how to have the same technology that could speak to each other so you could have a truly unified system. The rest of the world, most of the time, it's one company that gets the whole system. We've had we have developed a situation where there is competition among signal manufacturers and installers, and it has been hard fought. I just got to give credit to the C&D team for that, because they brought in, Mitsubishi, as well as
Mitsubishi.
Thales and Siemens.
And we're working with this Alstom right now.
Alstom. So there are 4 qualified firms who are bidding for signal work instead of just 2. And because of the Queens Boulevard project, they have demonstrated and implemented a plan where a single technology, I'm not going to get this right, but where there is interoperability among these different systems that these different signal companies manufacture, which was the challenge for New York, because we have so much interlining among our different lines. Andrew, I'm interrupting you, Evan, but I'm sorry. I'm creating the problem.
So we have all heard about the delay on actually implementing CBTC on the G line because they're converting from 4G to 5G technology. Are these other lines that are getting done already 5G technology, or are they also going to have that kind of?
These new lines that we're awarding and going forward will all be 5G. The crosstown line was the first to be deployed with 5G, so there were some startup pains associated with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're also requesting approval this month for award of a contract for fire suppression systems at both the Hugh L. Carey and Queens Midtown tunnels. After a successful pilot, we're planning to expand the new high-pressure suppression systems to improve life safety within the tunnels. This is an early project from our 25 to 29 capital plan. With the awards at this board meeting and those remaining in 2025, we will have demonstrated that we have the capacity to ramp up to the level of work anticipated in the 5-year, $68 billion plan. We're already working on the 2026 commitment plan to keep up this pace. And it's no surprise that our Bridges and Tunnels business unit is hot out of the gate with 25 to 29 prior commitments. And with that, I'd like to introduce Romulo DeSantis, who heads up that unit.
You going to do this?
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I will provide updates on Bridges and Tunnels Business Unit overall capital program status, significant completions, and project highlights for major ongoing projects. First, let me start off with a review of the work the Bridges and Tunnel Business Unit performs. Our business unit covers 7 bridges and 2 vehicular tunnels linking the 5 boroughs of New York City and serving approximately 325 million vehicles annually. These facilities range in age from 55 to 89 years and require a sustained level of investment to ensure their structural integrity, safety, and state of good repair. Our business unit also led the infrastructure build-out for the successful implementation of the Central Business District Tolling Program, which was delivered $74 million under budget. The project has received a total of 5 awards, including most recently the Engineering News Record Award for Best Specialty Construction Project. The Bridges and Tunnel Business Unit currently manages a budget totaling approximately $6.5 billion across multiple capital programs, addressing the state of good repair of our facilities. In addition to maintaining our facilities in a state of good repair, we implement preservation measures to extend the service life of assets, including cable deunification, weigh motion system, and state-of-the-art painting system. We also incorporate significant improvements in safety, resiliency, and regional mobility and accessibility. Bridges and Tunnel $3 billion 25 to 29 capital program is a comprehensive investment plan to continue our mission to maintain our facilities in a state of good repair, extend their service life while also addressing safety and resiliency improvements. This plan will continue Bridges and Tunnel's main cable unification initiative, which is necessary to extend the service life of our suspension bridges. We are currently installing the unification system at the Robert F. Kennedy and Verrazano Narrows bridges, and we are continuing that work at the Bronx Whitestone and Throgsneck Bridge in the 25-29 plan. Significant investments will also be made to the installation of a fire suppression system at the tunnels to improve life safety and further resiliency measures at several of our electrical substations. Since last time we presented to the committee, the business unit has awarded the remainder of its 20 to 24 program projects. With these projects now awarded, I am pleased to report that all planned major projects in Bridges and Tunnel $3.25 20 to 24 capital program have now been committed. We're also on track to exceed our commitment goal by awarding 2 projects from the 25-29 plan this month. Fire suppression system installation at the tunnels that is being presented for approval today, and structural rehabilitation work and painting at the Throgsneck Bridge, bringing our total 2025 commitment to over $1.1 billion. The business unit also exceeded our completion targets this year, with 5 projects completed, all under budget. By delivering project in the 2024 plan under budget, we were able to reinvest these savings and add a new $80 million project installing safety measures at the Throgsneck Bridge.
No, so it is, the slide is a little confusing. All that is saying is that the completions, they got more project were completed than had been planned.
Correct.
That's good news.
Yeah.
166, 165, we actually got 260.
Yeah, they got 263 million, so they're ahead of schedule on projects, on
Correct.
construction, and they're ahead of schedule on awards, right,
That's
Romulo?
That's correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. I will now discuss our major ongoing program at several facilities, highlighting significant completion and progress on ongoing project. The RFK Bridge has 2 significant projects currently ongoing: improvements at the FDR Drive approach and Queens Suspended Span retrofit. This project at the RFK will improve bridge connection to the southbound FDR Drive and deliver a new bike pedestrian overpass to the community. Currently, 4 lanes merge into 3 lanes, causing significant traffic backups on the RFK Bridge. This project will utilize the existing shoulders on the FDR to create a safer RFK-FDR merge, allowing 2 lanes from the RFK Bridge to continue unimpeded onto the southbound FDR Drive, improving traffic flow and safety. To accommodate the new alignment in this area, the existing pedestrian overpass over this portion of the FDR Drive will be replaced with a new ADA-compliant bike pedestrian overpass. This project also addresses necessary deck repairs on the FDR ramp to extend the service life of the roadway. This work is funded via the operating budget and is a prime example on how Bridges and Tunnels bundles capital and operating work to maximize efficiencies and minimize impacts to our customers. The project, awarded in June, is approximately 15% complete and is progressing on time and on budget. We're undertaking a comprehensive rehabilitation of the RFK Bridge suspended span, including structural repairs, painting, cable reunification, and the installation of a weight in motion system to detect overweight trucks. We're also adding a new shared use path between Queens and Randall's Island, improving access to Randall's Island Park, and completing Bridges and Tunnel Accessibility Improvement Initiative. By bundling this work in one contract and performing activities from deck platforms installed under the roadway, we have maximized efficiency and minimized traffic impacts. The project, awarded in December of 2023, is approximately 37% complete and remains on schedule and within budget. Shifting over to our longest suspension bridge, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, has a significant program of projects either recently completed or ongoing. In the last year, we completed 2 projects at the bridge, both delivered under budget and on or ahead schedule. First, the Bell Parkway Merge improvement helped improve traffic flow and reduce collisions by 30% on the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. This project was completed on schedule and on budget in December 2024. Second, the lower level roadway rehabilitation, which addressed the deteriorated conditions on the roadway and extending the service life of the deck. This project was completed 3 months ahead of schedule and under budget. There are 3 major ongoing construction projects at the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, which I will discuss in detail in the next several slides. On to active projects. The first is tower painting and electrical upgrades, a project that is projected on time and $23 million on the budget. Here, we're once again using our modern 3-coat paint system that provides up to 30 years of protection against corrosion of steel elements, which is critical for maintaining steady good repair and the long-term preservation of these 700 feet high towers. This project also bundles co-located steel repairs and electrical upgrades along with the tower painting work to maximize efficiency and minimize impacts to our customers. This work is extremely challenging due to the extreme height of the towers and strong winds. To meet the project schedule, the contractor prioritized crews during favorable weather periods. A robust safety program and continuous weather monitoring, along with a strong partnership approach, has enabled the work to progress safely, with the exterior painting work not complete on both towers. The project is approximately 85% complete, and we look forward to getting this substantial completion in July 2026. This major project at the Verrazano Narrows Bridge will also help extend the useful life of the bridge through the installation of a dehumidification system on the main cables. This system preserves cable strength by introducing dry air into the main cables to control humidity and prevent corrosion. Just to put things into perspective, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge 4 main cables are each 7,205 feet long and at the highest point 700 feet above sea level. To provide a safe access during construction, the contractor will install extensive work platforms under each pair of cables. We're taking advantage of these work platforms by addressing several state of good repair work items associated with the main cable, such as replacement of cable band bolts and aviation lights as part of this contract. The project was awarded in July 2025 and is in the early stages of construction. This recently awarded major state of good repair and safety improvement project at the Verrazano Narrows Bridge will reconstruct the original deteriorated and substandard 1960 Brooklyn approach ramps of the bridge. Shown on this slide are typical deck conditions. Though we have been addressing immediate safety issues, a full reconstruction is necessary to ensure a state of good repair. As part of this ramp reconstruction, we are reconfiguring the structure to meet current standards, replacing the existing hand exit with right-hand exit leading to the Bell Parkway, and improving the ramps with shoulders. This major safety improvement will reduce traffic collision at this location, which sees more accidents than any other bridges and tunnels location. To maximize the service life of this investment, we're using stainless steel reinforcement and improving resiliency using seismic isolation bearings. This project was awarded in August 2025 and is in the early stages of construction. We'll now move to the Throgsneck Bridge. The Throgsneck Bridge is undergoing extensive construction at the towers, which I will discuss further in the next slide. In addition, this month, we will be awarding a project to rehabilitate the extensive approach viaducts of the Throgsneck Bridge and maintain them in a state of good repair. The Bridges and Tunnel Business Unit has been proactively addressing the risk from errant marine vessels at all our facilities that span navigable waterways, with a total investment in this initiative of approximately $200 million across multiple programs. The Throgsneck Bridge is the final Bridges and Tunnel facility being improved to meet current AASHTO vessel collision guidelines. We continue to make strong progress on the replacement of the existing tower fender system, accelerating the installation of using a new innovative precast concrete fender system. To maximize efficiency and project coordination and minimize impact to customers, this project bundles several co-located improvements, including tower painting, rehabilitation of tower elevators, and tower electrical upgrades, together with the fender construction under one contract. The project awarded in December 2023 is 70% complete, remains within budget, and is on track for early completion by the end of 2026. This concludes our capital program update. The successful delivery of these demanding and complex projects is made possible by ongoing partnering between our C&D staff and the contractors, close collaboration with TBTA support teams, and the skilled trade workers who execute this high-risk and physically demanding work safely, on time, and with minimal impacts to our customer. Thank you. I will take any questions after the IEC review.
Yeah, we're going to hear from the IEC first and then questions if they exist. Go ahead, Suresh.
Thank you and good afternoon, Chair and members of the board. Today I am presenting the IEC's review of 4 B&T projects. Our reports can be found in the committee book. We begin with an update on the RFK Bridge project to retrofit and paint the suspended span. The project team has demolished the existing south side walkway and started construction of the new walkway, which will be an ADA-compliant shared use path. The IEC also notes the agency's installation of a scale known as weigh-in-motion system is complete and waiting for commissioning. This system should reduce the number of overweight vehicles, which in turn will help maintain state of good repair of the bridge. The project has progressed well and remains on budget and on schedule. The next project is for fender replacement and miscellaneous work at the Throgs Neck Bridge. This is our first report on this project. The project is 70% complete and is on budget and schedule. Much of the work that is in the water is complete. The remaining work is mostly on the tower elevator rehabilitation and on the bridge suspension system, including tests needed for design of the main cable dehumidification. Risks include uncovering additional repair needs for which the agency included reserve. The IEC notes that the design builder's innovations for installing the fenders saved the agency substantial time and money. Now, we will provide the first IEC reports on 2 recently awarded projects at the Verrazano-Narrows Bridge. The first is for a dehumidification system on the 4 main cables of the bridge. The project was awarded in July 2025 and is targeting completion in August 2029. Work thus far has mostly included surveys, design and drawing preparation. Cable work for installing the temporary work platforms will start in the spring. The platform work, including the installation, monitoring, and removal, was identified as one of the most critical risks, and the IEC will be closely monitoring. The second project at the Verrazano is for the reconstruction of the Brooklyn approach ramps. This was awarded in August 2025 for completion in July 2029. The project involves working within a city park and is adjacent to residential streets and homes. Outreach efforts regarding these community impacts have begun, and the community has been informed of the project timeline. B&T has included contractual milestones to minimize potential impacts. Coordination of work with other projects at the facility is a risk that the IEC will continue to monitor for both Verrazano projects. In conclusion, the 4 bridges and tunnels business unit projects reported here are progressing well. In addition to maintaining state of good repair, this work will provide lessons learned for other projects, including the upcoming dehumidification at the other bridges. Our reporting this month also includes the latest update to the traffic light report. This quarter, the IEC reviewed 11 B&T projects. None of them triggered a variance this reporting period. Overall, a total of 243 projects for all MTA agencies were reviewed for cost and schedule adherence. 217 projects did not trigger any variance this quarter. 26 projects triggered a variance, of which 21 were due to schedule, 2 for cost, and 3 for both cost and schedule issues. The full TLR report can be found in the committee book. This concludes our comments.
forgive me, would you repeat the schedule and budget info at the end? Because I didn't see what the numbers look like compared to the whole universe. What's the denominator?
So only 3 projects for both schedule and cost variance. Yeah, and 2 are just for cost, and 21 projects are only for schedule.
Out of how many?
Out of 243 projects.
Okay, all right. So we're under 5%.
Yes.
Are having schedule and budget issues.
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Okay. Are there any questions for Mr. DeSantis or for the IEC? Randy Glucksman.
Thank you. Interesting report. The fire suppression system, how many of them get installed in a tunnel? Or are there very few of them? What's the distance between installations?
It's the continuous from portal to portal.
Like a
Yes.
vent running through a...
Correct.
Really?
Yes. We have implemented a pilot program previously at the Ucari Tunnel, and now we're going to continue that at the Ucari to cover the remaining section of the tunnel, and also implementing the same at the Queensmithtown Tunnel.
Thank you.
But it's coverage portal to portal.
I mean, again, just reminding us of the big stuff. I think the B&T has cut in the last couple of years, collisions, the number of collisions down by what, 40%?
It was 30% on the Verrazano Narrows.
But I
Bridge.
think on system-wide, it's even a bigger number.
It's over 60%.
Over 60%, and this is a huge benchmark that we never really focus on, because not only does that obviously increase safety, but it reduces the cause of the big delays is when you have collisions and lanes are blocked up, and there's police involved in all of that. So these guys are doing a pretty good job. Any other questions for Mr. DeSantis? If not, we'll move to procurements. First of all, thank you to Romulo has stepped into the shows. If you all remember Joe Keane, who was the head of the construction, the capital side of bridges and tunnels and part of C&D in the last couple of years of his career. Romulo has stepped in his shoes and is doing a great job. So thank you, Romulo.
Thank you.
And thank you for saving us $70 million on the congestion pricing project. Okay, Mr. Iceland for procurements.
So this month, I'm presenting 14 procurement actions for your consideration, totaling $2 billion. There are 4 new design-build contracts, each with an associated maintenance contract. These are all significant contracts, and I want to take a moment to give credit to the folks in the C&D's contract staff, as well as the stations and signals and B&T business units who put in a lot of work in developing and negotiating these contracts. The first is an award to Paul J. Scariano, Inc. in the amount of $84,662,000 for accessibility upgrades at the 42nd Street, Bryant Park, and Fifth Avenue Station Complex. Under this contract, Scariano will install 4 new ADA-compliant elevators and other accessibility upgrades, including ADA boarding area platform. The work also includes upgrades to the retail space at Times Square 42nd Street Station. We're also requesting approval to award a 15-year maintenance contract for the new elevators to be installed. It's for the elevators to be installed under this contract. The contract will be with Mid-American Elevator Company. They're the installer of the elevators under this design-build contract, and the amount of the maintenance contract is $5,746,000. And note, this is one of the contracts that was unlocked by congestion pricing relief, and that is true of the next 2 items as well. The next item is the award of a design-build contract to Forte Construction Corp. in the amount of $169,950,000. That's for upgrades at 3 New York City transit stations. That's Briarwood on the F and E lines, Parsons Boulevard on the F line, and Gates Avenue on the J and Z lines. The work consists of the installation of 7 new ADA-compliant elevators and other accessibility upgrades at the 3 stations, stated good repair work, including platform repairs and replacements at Gates Avenue Station, and other station rehabilitation work at Briarwood Station. Again, we're requesting approval to award a 15-year maintenance contract to Mid-American, again, the installer of the new elevators, and this contract's in the amount of $12,248,000. The next item is the award of a design-build contract to LK Comstock and Company in the amount of $1.39 billion, and that's to provide a wayside communications-based train control system on the Fulton Street and Liberty Avenue lines. This contract will replace the existing signal system, which is almost 100 years old, with a CBTC system compliant with MTA standards. In addition to delivering the new CBTC system, the design builder will replace track switches, install equipment and cabling to support deployment of a wireless cellular system, and replace the tunnel lighting system throughout the project limits. With this contract, we're requesting approval to award a maintenance contract for a term of 25 years to Siemens Mobility, Inc. They are the supplier of the CBTC equipment on this contract in the amount of $151,821,383 for the maintenance of the CBTC system. The last new item is the award of a design-build contract to Novelis Tile Inc., doing business as Novelis Contracting, in the amount of $138,252,750 for the installation of fire suppression systems at the Hugh L. Carey and Queens Midtown tunnels. The project also includes state-of-good repair work to the tunnel ceiling ventilation exhaust ports at both tunnels to take advantage of the tunnel closures required for the installation of the suppression system. Here we're asking for approval of a maintenance contract for a 5-year term with Novelis in the amount of $9,970,000 to maintain the fire suppression system during that term. I'm also presenting 6 contract modifications. The first is a modification to a contract with NIAC Consulting Group in the amount of $2,530,024 for administrative oversight and coordination services in connection with the construction of a new office and hotel development at 175 Park Avenue, and to extend the contract term by 4 months to September 1, 2026. That contract extension is being funded by the developer for that project. We have a modification to a contract with RCC AMCC joint venture in the amount of $3,350,000 for impact costs related to compensable delays in connection with the construction of a new diesel locomotive repair shop and employee facility at Long Island Railroad's Morris Park Yard. Next is a modification to a contract with Sovereign Hydro Seal for $3,975,000. That will extend the term of this unit price contract for water remediation services. It'll extend it by 1 year to January 2nd, 2027, and will increase quantities to various unit prices to support the water remediation work forecasted over the next year. We have a modification to a
Water remediation where?
So this is for when there are leaks in tunnels, we can call them out. It's an on-call type contract. And we have a 3-year contract with them. It's expiring. We're going to put a new one out on the street. But in the meantime, we've increased the unit prices. We've actually renegotiated some of the prices at a lower level, at a lower price. And we're going to extend it next for another year so that we can address water
Ultimately,
leaks.
when the new bid happens, there will hopefully be multiple bidders, correct?
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The next one's a contract with Skanska Railroad Construction in the amount of $19,540,000. It's for the replacement of 8 deteriorated platform girders, 4 at the Manhattan-bound track and 4 at the Flushing-bound track at the 61st Street Woodside Station on the Flushing line. That's one we talked about a little bit last time. There's another modification in the amount of $3 million to a contract with TAP Electrical Contracting Services for the replacement of Metro North's 86th Street substation and the negative return reactors at the 110th Street substation, and that's also to resolve claims for compensable and excusable delays. And finally, we have a ratification of a mod to a contract with Infinity Contracting, Inc. in the amount of $2,340,000 for the investigation and emergency repair of an 8-inch sanitary sewer at the Gun Hill Bus Depot. These items are described in detail in the staff summaries contained within your committee books, and I hereby submit them for your consideration and vote.
Okay. I want to take a nap after that.
That's what I do for a living. Thank you very much.
Has anyone figured out that C&D likes to get stuff done by the end of the year, and sometimes ends up with a lot of stuff at the end of the year? Yeah, I've noticed that. It's good. We want to hit our numbers, and I think with this, assuming this package is approved, we will be hitting numbers that are consistent with having a $70 billion capital program in the first year. So that's that's an important sign of progress. You know, folks, when we were selling the $70 billion capital program in Albany, well, there were a lot of folks, some of them in, you know, the state bureaucracy, who said, you know, can you do that much work? And I think we're seeing that C&D is delivering on that, so that's an important milestone. Questions and comments from the board on any of this? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I
Please.
just recuse myself on one item?
Yeah.
Number 12 for the modification, $19,540, Wisconsin.
Skanska, okay. That's, I think everyone knows, we saw that a month or two ago. That is these huge girders, these huge steel structural elements that had to be produced to fix what emerged when they uncovered all the structure in that project at Woodside, that there were steel elements that were so corroded that they need to be replaced, and that's what Skanska did there, yeah. Go ahead.
Is there a time frame for the completion of the 42nd Street, Fifth Avenue complex?
There is a substantial completion date in that contract. I can't tell you off the top of my head. I will get it to you, though.
Thanks.
It's the Bryant Park, you're talking about the
Yeah.
Bryant Park station, yeah. I'm especially glad, I'm just sharing with the board, I'm especially glad we're getting this one done, because there was so much work done over a period of years to make sure all of the 42nd Street stations were truly accessible, so that somebody who was using all of those stations to move around east-west would have full accessibility. The Bryant Park station is the last element in that. We made the shuttle accessible, we made the Grand Central end of it fully accessible with all that work. Now, finally, Bryant Park as well. It's a good sign.
Wasn't the escalators or elevators at 42nd and 6th done by a private company initially? I seem to recall that.
There's the Bank of China. There is an elevator entrance at the Bank of China building, which is a little south of 42nd Street.
Maybe that's the one.
That don't, you know, I hope I don't misspeak, but over time, that's one of the private elevators we've struggled with. It's not come up on the list of bad bad actors recently. I think that's the one you're talking about.
I think it is, yeah.
And if I could just answer
please.
Mr. Roberts' question, that the duration to substantial completion is 1,049 days, which is just under 3 years.
Okay.
For the whole complex, yes.
Yeah. And just to underscore, the Fulton project, the CBTC project, runs from, it's the A train from High Street, right in, I'm looking around, make sure I get this right, with its High Street all the way out to Liberty, the Liberty end of the A train, right? To Lefferts.
That little piece up in the top there.
So this is a huge piece. It's going to serve like hundreds of thousands of people through central Brooklyn, through neighborhoods where there are a lot of folks who, you know, are traveling a long way to try to earn a decent living. And I'm thrilled that the whole, you know, between that and what we're doing on the 8th Avenue line in Manhattan and what's going on elsewhere in the system, we're going to get those IND lines really much closer to full CBTC. Okay. Any other comments? Because if not, I'll take a vote on the whole goddamn package. All right. What? All right. May I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Herbst. Second, Mr. Jones. All in favor? Any opposition? We took an abstention from Mr. Herbst on item 12, right? But other than that, the items are approved to go forward. So with that, I can ask for a motion to adjourn. Mr. Jones, thank you. Ms. Soren, thank you for the second. We're in adjournment. Thank you.